Hello, my friends. How are you doing? It is August 26th. We are here to talk about singing and stuff, as we always are on Tuesdays, most of the time. I'm here and I am feeling a little under normal, so that might be a good thing to talk about, like what you do when your body is like doing some weird stuff and you have to sing, right? Like, I don't know that it will feel the same as it did a couple days ago when I try and sing because I've got a lot of phlegm happening. Here in Hawaii, there's fog, which is a thing that most people don't have to deal with because there's a volcano on the next island over, and there's some smoke and extra stuff that lingers in the air in very, very tiny particles. So I can't even tell that anything is happening until I go to start using my voice. Sometimes my lungs feel it a little bit. So when there's that kind of thing happening, or when you're feeling a little bit under the weather, when you're feeling a little extra phlegmy, what do you do? Or if your whole body's just feeling a little strange, like if you're feeling like tired, or if you're in a certain part of your cycle, like your body is going to be acting differently, and therefore your voice is going to be acting differently. So of course the first thing to do is rest, and that is always easier said than done, of course. And I think it's really important to know your body well enough to know when you need to rest, and most of the time get into that mode before you think you need it. And that is the best medicine for your voice anyway. It can also be just really good for you anyway, is just to stop doing so many things, because God only knows we do so many things. Because if you're a perfectionist and you're a doer and you're an action taker and an overdoer and overthinker like me, we tend to struggle with actually resting. And we think that when we are really up to our limit is when we need to rest, when really it's beforehand. And especially when we're talking about the vocal folds, because they're teeny little muscles that are working so much and they're doing such heavy lifting for us most of the time, especially if you're a singer. And they go through a lot of inflammation throughout your cycle. If you didn't know that, like at different parts in our cycle, if you're a person with a menstrual cycle, your voice can be inflamed at certain parts of it, just because a lot of you is also inflamed. And so when you are feeling that way in the rest of your body, pay attention and be very gentle with your voice as well, because it's really, you can do some extra damage if you're trying to treat it as you would at any other time, you know. So just be aware that that is a thing that happens. And when you feel like you're getting sick, or when you already are sick, that is also a time when your cords are inflamed. And regardless of if you have a gig or an audition or something coming up, you still need to think about how to rest and to take care of your voice in a different way. If you are sick, if you have been sick, like, number one, you don't want to be out in the world getting other people sick, of course. So all the more reason to rest and cancel a couple plans so that you can rest and not spread whatever you got. But more importantly for your voice, like when you are extra inflamed, trying to put that same amount of resistance on your cords is going to feel very different. It's going to make things sound different. Number one, if you are already not in like pain mode, that's great. That means you still have time to do the right thing and rest your vocal folds. So being really mindful of what your body needs is really important, but also what your voice needs. So like if you have a very talkative job, if you tend to just be a talker like through throughout the day anyway. Like if you're just a chatty person, sometimes it might be a good idea to on purpose tell people like, hey, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I need to rest my voice because I value what it does for me on a daily basis, and I need you to understand that I'm going to text you instead of call you, or can we put off our conversation for a couple days from now when I'm not feeling so inflamed, you know? And that can be really hard to do sometimes. Just like my assignment for some of my students is like, even when you're not feeling under the weather or inflamed, like take a little more time in your sentences and take a nice fuller breath, right? It doesn't have to be 100%, but so many of us work on a breath deficit most of the time when we're talking. I don't know about you, but I get really excited and I keep talking, and then all of a sudden I realize that I'm almost out of breath and I am putting way too much work in these external muscles because my abs and my breath muscles can't help me. So I'm and so the way to counteract that is to, on purpose, earlier, preventatively, take a nice breath, slow your speech down a little bit, give the other person listening to you a chance to kind of process what's going on, give yourself a chance to think clearly about what you're about to say, etc. And that can be amplified when you are feeling under the weather and you already have irritated vocal folds, and you can tell because they start to get a little scratchy when there's extra phlegm happening. Sometimes this is different than like overuse, whereas the outer muscles start to get a little bushy. The other thing that happens is you start to feel a little discomfort right in the middle here. Like it's almost impossible to feel unless you're like really trying to make some serious sound, right? But it's that feeling of like it's like one step past you got something in your throat and you have to clear your throat, right? So there's that discomfort level, and then it can get to okay, I'm back, sorry. And then it can get to the pain level. So just this is the most important reason why we rest, so that it doesn't ever get to that pain level, right? So I think it's very important that you realize when you are doing too much. Number one, if you're sick especially, but on a normal day, like you want to stop before you get to this point of no return where you've already hurt yourself, right? So with a lot of my students, I will say like, hey, you're doing great. I'm starting to hear a little bit of tiredness in your voice. Like, do you want to stop? And keep in mind that like there's no shame in cutting off your practice a little so that you preserve your voice and you take care of your vocal folds well, especially if you're having a day where you're already inflamed for whatever reason. So it's really important to not put yourself in a potentially harmful situation just for the fact that you want 10 more minutes, 15 minutes of practice, right? So just be aware. I don't want you to ever get to the point where you have to go, to the doctor because you've actually hurt yourself, or there's a node or a polyp or something actually wrong. Although I'm so glad that those people exist and are here to help if that does happen, because it does happen with very little irritation. Sometimes it can just kind of happen with not a lot. I've had one of my old voice teachers, she is a vocal pathologist, and that happened to her from just being sick one time and coughing too much, so just be careful. This is my voice teacher spiel that I have to make. Be nice to yourself, preventative is so important. So stop before you've gone too far, right? If you're feeling any type of discomfort, like just check in with yourself. If you're feeling any type of pain, definitely stop. If you're feeling just inflammation, if your voice is not sounding the way you want it to, this it's another time to check in with yourself, right? Like sometimes there can be damage happening if you don't even feel pain. And I don't want to scare anybody, but go check out some speech language pathologists on here. They're really, really good ones on here that really will give you really good tips about what you're looking for when you're looking for, vocal fatigue and tiredness. Like, just be more informed about your voice is the thing that I have to say, like it's really important if you're an athlete to know what your body is doing and how it works and when it is done and to notice the signs of it being done before it's done, right? So you don't actually hurt yourself. Same thing in your voice. So treat yourself like an athlete. Be aware of what your voice is doing. Be aware of the signs of inflammation. Go check out some vocal pathologists on here, SLPs, etc. They're really important resources. And if you ever feel actually like worried about, like if you have like a gap in your range where there's just no sound coming out, or if you feel pain or real scratchiness that is not going away, like don't just wait to see your vocal coach whenever they can see you. Go make an appointment with an ENT like ASAP. And if you're a singer, I always say, like, go make an appointment with an ENT ahead of time, even before you feel bad, right? So that they can get a baseline of what your folds look like and act like, so that they know what the baseline is when something, if ever, goes wrong. Okay, there's the spiel. I gotta do it. If you're feeling a little less than 100%, take care of yourself. Notice your patterns. If you're a menstruating person, notice what happens with your voice in different parts of your cycle. Like for me at the very beginning, there's always more inflammation, and it is frustrating. I get it. But it is also something that we need to be aware of in order to be more in tune with our body, for us to work more efficiently with it. So it's not always a problem. Sometimes on those days it just takes a little gentler, less steep warm up. Sometimes it just takes a longer warm up. Sometimes it takes extra hydration. Sometimes it takes like actual bodily stretching. For me, that's a really important thing that I hope people don't let go of or forget. Like, your whole body is working when you're singing. So if part of you is tight, especially the torso up, something might be connected to your voice and its tightness as well. So stretch your whole body. Doesn't have to be a lot. Go find a 10-minute yoga video and do what you can. But I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I, in my experience, have almost always sung better when my body is stretched out and my body is looser. Because this is part of your body. So this gets loose when the whole body gets looser, and more flexible when you do it more often. And it's not just a once a week thing when you sing or go to your voice lesson. It's a multiple times a week, almost daily practice. If you're singing every day, ideally you want to get into your body every day and take care of it so that it can take care of your voice, because you want to keep it around for a while. Don't ignore it. I know I don't talk about this a lot. I mostly just talk about nervous system stuff, but this is important and it's very related. And if you have questions, let me know. But go get your baseline ENT appointment and just learn a little more about your voice today, if you can. There's some great books out there too. There's an anatomy, and I don't have it with me, but there's like a vocal anatomy illustration book, which is really great, that you can look at and start to find out what's happening when you're singing in certain places and registers in your voice. And even just knowing that helped me so much as a singer, like just tapping into what's happening, even if it doesn't translate all the time. Like when I'm singing a song, I'm not thinking about what muscles are moving in what way. Like I'm not, but overall as a zoom out, it really helps to know what's going on and how to take care of your voice a little better as someone who is using my voice all the time. So you're an athlete, treat yourself as such. And let me know if you have any questions. If I can't answer something, I will point you in the right direction. Yeah, sending lots of love, and let me know what else you want me to talk about. Send me a message, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.